Hello everyone, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting video, and in today's video I'm going to be playing some AI Dungeon 2. Can I learn how to focus my divine energy into tools and kill demons in 30 minutes or less? Let's find out. Let's hop right into today's adventure. Let's see, let's set the timer for 30 minutes. Okay, so the timer has been set and it has started. Let me turn up the volume so that I'll hear the timer when it goes off. Let me press play to jump right into the adventure. Double check to make sure that I have already started the recording. Worst case scenario, if I generate the story, but it doesn't actually, oh wait, never mind. Don't even have to do the alternative thing. I've come to a realization, Master Wong, you say. What is it that you have discovered? You haven't even started your first day of training here at the temple. You just got here, asked Mr. Wong. Master Wong, my apologies. I've been training at home. I read in the Bible in 2 Peter 1:4 that to partake in one's divine nature, one must escape their evil desires. You explain. Very good. So you know that you must clear your mind of evil desires in order to temporarily attain your divine form? Asked Master Wong. No. Clearing your mind of evil desires is unnecessary most of the time, you reply. Oh? Can you elaborate? Asked Master Wong. Only those who are truly evil are constantly occupied by evil desires. Everyone occasionally thinks of an evil desire, but most of the time the conscious mind is either distracted or focused on other things. In other words, you say, a majority of the time, men are already tapping into their divine nature without realizing it, realizes Master Wong. Exactly. Now that I'm aware of this, I'm trying to learn what the awareness of one's divine nature brings them. Today at the temple, I will be experimenting with feeling my divine energy and trying to channel it into tools. You explain. Tools? Asked Master Wong. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes we do find ourselves consumed with evil desires. In those instances, the power of our divine nature is lost to us. If we stored our divine energy inside of tools, however, we could utilize our godly power whenever, regardless of our desires. You explain. Okay. Oh, right, there's more. I hadn't realized that there was more. And I wrote it too. It's weird that I don't remember what's here. Okay. So, if you create divine tools, then demons will come to claim them. Demonic entities do not possess divine nature, but if they could wield divine tools, they could use the power of a god to bring the world to its knees, warns Master Wong. That's why I'll use my divine tools to slay the coming demons. That being said, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I need to make my divine tool first, you assure. Then the next part is what the AI filled in. Very well. I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to seeing your divine tool when you return to the temple. Master Wong says as he smiles and waves you goodbye. Well, I'm going to reply to Master Wong. I'm not leaving yet. I just got here. I'm going to make the divine tool here. Or at least I'm going to try to. I actually don't know how to manipulate divine energy yet. But I'm sure I'll figure it out. So I do think the realization that most people are normally tapping into their divine nature when not possessing evil desires is a good realization, but it shows that you have a power that you've had for a long time and have most of the time, but you have never learned how to tap into it, and sounds like most people just don't know how. Master Wong looks at you. Well, if you say so, Master Wong says, shrugging. I'll leave you to it. Good luck. You take your materials and sit in a corner of the temple with only candle illuminating the room. I'll add to that, only candlelight illuminating the room. I'm going to look at my materials, because I actually have no idea what materials the game is giving to me. Let's see what I've got in terms of materials. You have a small wooden disc with one word carved into it. Trust. There are on hands. Wait, there are on hand of yours. I don't know what that means. You have the candle in front of you and various other items to your side. For 1 hour, you stare at the candle. No thanks. I'm gonna get rid of everything after the. You have a small wooden disc with one word carved into it. Trust. That's the only part I'm gonna keep of that. And I'm going to think to myself, I'll try to channel my divine energy into this wooden disc. Maybe my divine energy can fortify the disc with supernatural strength, making it almost like Captain America's shield. That being said, I still need to find a way to feel my divine energy and learn how to move it through my body and into objects. And then I'm going to attempt to visualize my divine energy in order to try and feel my divine energy. So I'm going to try and picture my divine energy in my mind's eye and see if that evokes what it actually feels like. You concentrate and try to focus on the power of your divine nature. Your eyes start to glow, but you quickly realize that you've lost sight in them. Every other sense becomes heightened as you start to feel the energy of the room. Whoa. Okay. Interesting. So, I'm surprised that my divine nature sacrifices one of my mortal senses to heighten the others and to allow me to essentially sense the energy of my surroundings. I think that if I were to put this energy, or I guess infuse this energy into the wooden disc, that it would allow for anyone holding the disc to perceive the energy of any environment they explored at the cost of their sight. You visualize your energy flowing into the wooden disc in an attempt to channel your energy into the disc and transform it into a divine tool. Okay. So my original idea about trying to fortify the disc into Captain America's shield doesn't seem like will be possible because my abilities seem to be sensory based. You close your eyes and feel a change in your energy. Your mortal senses are gone, but you can sense a room that you've never seen before. It's a dark room with several other people sitting in the dark as well. You hear a voice coming from somewhere in the room. You realize that your divine... That actually is kind of interesting. You realize that when you close your eyes, your sight returns. Well, actually, yeah, but allows you to see into a spiritual plane at the cost of your other mortal senses. You are starting to worry that your divine abilities may not be suitable for combat if demons were to come to steal your divine tool. You open your eyes and try to see if you can manipulate the energy of the room through visualization. Yeah, I'm like, does this have like any combat use at all? I mean, like, and heightened senses are good, right? Maybe if you have like martial arts or something. But I think if you're like a normal person and all you have are heightened senses, you can only do so much. You see your friend sitting in the room, but it takes a moment for their images to come into focus. You try to feel the energy of the room and start to move it around a bit. You start to get a feel for the energy in the room, and you move it around yourself. So when I opened my eyes, I was no longer alone in the room. And also I can see, which is interesting. Well, I also have heightened sense. Well, no, it straight up says you see your friend sitting in the room. Before, when my eyes were open, it said you couldn't see, but you could perceive the energy of the room. So maybe when it says that I see my friends, it's like I see my friends' energy signatures. You see the energy signatures, I'm going to just edit that in, of your friend sitting in the room with you. But it takes a moment for their images to come into focus. Okay. I'm going to say to my friends, can you feel the energy in the room that I am moving around with my mind? Or I guess I'm asking my friends that. Your friends are confused for a moment before one responds, I can't feel anything. You try to move the energy around your friend, and they start to feel uncomfortable. They say, it feels like bugs are crawling on me. It's really unsettling. I'm going to say, fascinating. So when I warp the energy of a room around a person, it can cause them to experience discomfort. That could potentially be used in combat. Yeah. So this is actually like a kind of interesting power. Perceive and manipulate the energy of the space you inhabit. Your friends are still confused, but one day they will understand the ways of the omniatia or omnita. It's interesting. Omni means all, and I don't really know what ita means. The omniata. You see a man in a dark robe enter the room, and he says, Okay. So what is this man in the dark room? Today you will engage in your final test to become a full-fledged member of the Omniata. All of you must go to the room across from this one, and there you will find your final test. When you enter, you must say, I'm going to get rid of that quote so that I know what I'll have to say. Also, this is my first time here. Why am I taking a final test? And I haven't even made my divine tool yet. You must say, omniate the number, and then you must kill your final test, or it will kill you. Good luck. Goodness. So our final test is like something we have to kill? A man walks into the room. He appears to have a large bag over his head, and he is wearing heavy shackles on his arms and legs. Okay. I'm going to say to the man with the bag over his head. Well, actually, he said that we need to go to the room across from this one. So I'm going to grab the wooden disc and go to the room across from the room I am in. I'm surprised that you have, well, I guess that you are able to take a final test, considering that this is your first day at the temple. You have yet to finish creating your divine tool, but at least you know how to manipulate the energy of a room to make an adversary feel uncomfortable. Yeah, and the final test involves killing. It's going to be really interesting. You enter the room and see a man standing there with a bag over his head. Hello, friend. Oh wait, sorry, that's me talking. Hello, friend, you say, as you wave at him from across the room. He does not respond, but instead stands there, looking around the room. Okay. I'm going to attempt to infuse my divine energy into the wooden disc through visualization. So I'm going to try and visualize my energy going into the disc. Also, I need to change the setting on my thermostat. It must be set to cool. You concentrate on the disc in your hand and start to visualize it being filled with divine energy. You then visualize the disc expelling a field of divine energy that will make the man feel extremely uncomfortable. Yo, okay, interesting. So I can now use the disc as a conduit to create a field of discomfort. I'm going to attempt to amplify the field created by the disc. The final test involves you killing this man. You think that if you can make the man as uncomfortable as possible, that he will kill himself. Oh, I forgot. I need to say omniata number. You concentrate on the disc, and you feel your connection to it grow. You can feel the energy emanating from the disc increase. You can see the bag over the man's head start to ruffle, as if it was being blown by a breeze. I'm going to say, omniata number. Because I was instructed to do that when I walk into the room. Because I believe that's what initiates the test. The man looks around, seemingly confused. You can see that he is breathing heavily inside of the bag on his head. He starts to violently kick and punch the air before losing his balance and falling to the floor. Okay. You believe that the man likely feels as if he is being swarmed by insects. That is why he is kicking and punching in the air randomly. Because the man can't see the feeling of the insects likely seems that much more real. You continue to focus on the wooden disc. You think that the stronger the field around the disc, the more insects the man will think are trying to eat him. Or the larger the insects he perceives will appear. Let's see. This is like an interesting concept. And the man doesn't really seem that threatening. The AI doesn't know what to say. I'm gonna hit retry. Excuse me. You see the man start to violently shake his arms and legs as he attempts to rid himself of the insects that he believes are eating him alive. He screams out in pain and begs that you make the insects stop eating him. Okay. I'm going to say to the man, today I become an omniatia, which means today is the day that you die. If you wish to escape the insects, you must first end your own life. Okay. I still don't know what the omniata are. The man stops shaking and yelling, and you can see that he is contemplating his own death. You are unsure if you should help the man end his own life, or force him to endure the suffering. You hear voices coming from outside. He has been in there for far too long. Oh, great. You realize that you need to hurry up if you want to pass the test. While the man is contemplating his own death, you quickly strike his neck with your wooden disc. Okay. The man's heart stops beating. He falls to the floor dead. You can hear the people outside rushing into the room. What did you do? They ask, seemingly shocked at what you've done. And then it had me say, I killed a defenseless man, you reply. I'm going to change that to, I'm going to say, I did what was requested of me. I completed the final test of the omniata by slaying the final test using my new divine tool. You show your wooden disc. You say, I imagine this is a test where you have to use divine energy to kill the final test target. Normally, killing a defenseless person, I guess normally killing an undefended person would be nearly impossible in divine form, as that would be an evil desire. Luckily, thanks to my divine tool, I can hold evil desires while still wielding divine power. Let's see. You are escorted out of the room and told that you passed all of your tests. You will soon be given a month to learn how to use your divine tool, and then you will have to work for the temple as an omniata until you die of old age. I'm going to ask, what is an omniata? Let's see. I was surprised that I was given the final test so soon. I do need to change the thermostat reading or whatever. I had it set to cool when I was exercising, and I think it's just been set to cool since then. The man are what the priest of the temple and the temple itself is called. He then says that there are actually more than one kind of omniatias, but the normal kind that you will be one day is an omniatia XF89. Interesting. I'm going to ask, are all the omniatia capable of using their divine nature? Also, let me check the timer. Okay, I got 2 minutes and 38 seconds left on the timer. The man smiles and tells you that not all the priests and priestesses are omniatias. Of the few that actually are, however, yes, they can all use their divine nature to its fullest extent. The man gets up and starts walking out of the room. You follow. Interesting. So the omniatia are not just like the priest of the temple and the temple itself, like he said earlier. Specifically, the priests and priestesses of the temple who can tap into their divine nature are the omniatia. And I guess the temple itself is also called omniatia. So that's interesting. I'm going to ask the man, who are you? The man laughs. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I am Father Attila Regulus, chief priest of the Temple of Omniatia. But please, just call me Attila. You are led to a large room with many other people in it. I'm going to ask Attila, when I created my divine tool, I expected demons to come and try to claim it. I am surprised that no demons came. Is it because the demons that would have tried to take it were already defeated by the other omniata, or whatever? Attila nods. That's right. The Omniatia have been fighting the demons for many centuries, so the demons would never gather in large numbers to attack us. That is, until recently. Attila looks down at the ground and clenches his fist. Interesting. This world has, like, lore, for sure. But it looks like we've run out of time. Yo, what'd you guys think of this adventure? I honestly thought that this adventure was going to be about, like, me, like, making the divine tool and discovering what my divine powers were, and then protecting the divine tool from, like, a demon attack. But instead, it ended up being, like, me learning about the divine tool and my divine abilities, only then to be put into a weird test where I have to kill a man with, like, my divine power. Which, again, since you can't use your divine form while consumed with evil desires, I'm not even sure how normal people pass that test. Like, how you would have, like, killed the man in the first place. But my divine tool was my answer. I wonder how other people were able to do that. Like, able to pass that test. I'd have to ask. Then I learn about, like, the Omniatias and how they're priests that can, like, use their divine nature and how they can use it to their fullest extent, which is really interesting. Maybe using it to its fullest extent allows you to get past the evil desires clause or whatever. That might be, like, an interesting, like, loophole or something. And he also mentioned that, like, no, demons totally did show up to, like, try and, like, get at your divine tool or whatever, but the other Omnatias just, like, had that handled. But it sounds like how that story was ending, like, but maybe not for long. Like, maybe soon we'll be, like, overrun with, like, demons. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys want to see me continue this one. If you guys have any ideas for videos, definitely let me know on our Discord, link in the description box below. And if I dig your idea, then we can, like, talk it out, and then I'll charge you $7 per hour length of the video. So $7 for a 1 hour video, $14 for a 2 hour video, $21 for a 3 hour video, etc., etc. Also, if you guys just want to donate to the channel, feel free to hit up the Cash App, link in the description box below. And thank you all once again for watching. If you guys like AI Dungeon 2 videos, make sure you subscribe because I do an AI Dungeon 2 video every day. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet like the one only, logging out. Peace, guys. Check it about.